Wyong trainer Kristen Buchanan grew up on the central coast of New South Wales, but it was a move to Western Australia that fueled the fire in her to become a racehorse trainer.
I did a degree in human biology and exercise physiology at Curtin University in Western Australia. Sports science, exercise physiology, anatomy in humans. It was with the intention to do a master's in chiropractic and physio. And in the meantime, I started writing track work to pay the bills while I was getting through university, and one thing led to another. I did finish my degree, but certainly found a passion for the racing life. Now, I was very fortunate to work for Neville Parnham for about 8 years. He was a terrific boss, so I learnt a lot from him, and it was a great working environment to be in. We could explore, we could learn, doing a lot of treatments and riding. It was a really terrific role to kick off with. I started my own business while I was working for Neville, and kicked off with a few pre-trainers and breakers, which ended up getting quite busy. We used to have about 50 horses in at any time. I only had a few horses that I actually raced there. When the time came that I really decided to get serious, that's when I decided to move back to the eastern states.
On returning to New South Wales, Buchanan took up a position in racing with respected owner and breeder Sharif Iskander.
I was fortunate to come back home and work for Sharif Iskander in Sydney for a year and a half. He and Suman Hedge were my bosses, and that was an amazing job. Sharif's a very clever businessman and also a terrific boss to work for. He selected some fantastic stallions such as Zoostar and Written Tycoon. I was very proud to be part of their team.
But the time came for Buchanan to go out on her own, setting up a base at Wyong.
I started training at Wyong because I felt that it was a fantastic location. I mean, you're within 2 to 3 hours of most of the tracks that you'd want to be racing at. You're within striking distance of metropolitan race courses, and you also can access good country tracks within that, close distance range. So I thought a terrific location, a nice low-key environment for the horses, which I think is very important, and the opportunity to buy a property locally where we could develop that. We have 25 to 30 in work at any time, which has gradually increased over the years as I can manage it. We're looking for another property at the moment to have those off-course facilities here, but we've got a really nice setup at Wyong. Huge boxes, our own walker, swimming pool, and they've done a lot of work on the infrastructure and putting in a new poly track, and it's just a great place to be.
Buchanan relies on science when it comes to getting the best out of her horses.
Etrakka is a GPS and heart rate monitoring system. I was lucky enough that when I first started training, it was in its early days, and because of my background in the exercise physiology, I latched onto it. Seemed a no-brainer to me in terms of being able to look at a horse's recovery, their stride length, how they're actually coping with the workload that they have. It helps me to make adjustments to their training routines and to really pinpoint what their strengths and weaknesses are in terms of where we're headed with them, their potential and suitable races and racing patterns. So we're tracking fitness, we're tracking any issues. We can pick up on shin soreness, lamenesses. Even before a rider might be able to tell you that, we're starting to clue in on possible problem areas.
Two Blue has been Buchanan's best horse to date, having won the 2016 Sapphire Stakes at Randwick. But now she hopes Designated can assume the mantle.
Designated came to the stables through the sales. Actually, we made contact with Alex and Deirdre Eels, who bred him, and we were fortunate enough that they decided to send him to us. He's a lovely horse by Rubik. He's strong, he's robust, and he's really performed well so far for a limited number of starts for the stable. He won his maiden here at Wyong over the 1,000 metres by going forward, and won that strongly, I think by about 2 or 3 lengths with Serge Lisney on board. That was impressive. But what I really like about this horse is the fact that he also gets the mile. So when he's fresh, he has speed and can go the sprinting distances. But as he gets into his preparation, he's definitely got a lot more scope. We did go first up at Wyong, and then we went to a Gosford Guineas over the 1200. He got back in that and ran into traffic. I think he got beaten about 4 lengths. I thought he ran a really good race against some nice horses. And looking at opportunities for him, we actually had him down to go to the Magic Millions 3-year-old race, but we were, I think, third emergency for that and didn't get a start. So then we've decided on heading to the Provincial Championships track.
Designated managed to qualify for the Polytrack Provincial Championships final at Randwick on April 11, when running third in the opening heat at Newcastle, when ending up third in what was a thrilling finish.
Designated hit the front, Stella Seasun, Oakfield Missile late, Designated just in front, Designated just from either Oakfield Missile or Stella Seasun.
The finish at Newcastle, I went the early crow. I thought we definitely got there. He was in front everywhere except on the post. But a terrific run, racing against some very good horses. I know Damien Lane's horse that did win, she performed very well in the final last year. And Chris Lees obviously always has a very strong contingent of horses in the first heat there. So very pleased with him. Glad we made the final, but it was a little bit deflating that we hadn't won like I thought. But he's trained on well.
And Buchanan concedes that it's an exciting time as the Rich final approaches.
The Provincial Series is a terrific concept. It's great for promoting provincial racing. It's exciting. It feels like we're going group racing, and essentially you're competing for that kind of prize money. But there's a lot of prestige with it, and it's certainly on my bucket list to win one.